To thinking is contagious. We have two tropical storms, potential hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards the Gulf Coast of the United States. Hopefully, everyone stays safe. The good news is that I haven't heard Nancy Pelosi or uh, Schumer or anyone blame Trump for the hurricanes, so that's a plus. We're getting a plus there. I do want to talk about a couple of things. I was having a conversation today with some friends, and they were complaining about how their friends, their liberal friends, their anti-Trump friends, get very angry when they try to defend Trump in any way, shape, or form. Um, the friendship gets strained when these liberals feel that there's too much support for Trump. And I just wanted to give you some bullet points, and this is what we went over. And these are some facts that next time you're talking to your liberal cohorts, you might want to tell them, ask them what their thoughts are, and maybe if they can combat it or tell you why you're wrong, and try to get a little bit educated on it. Um, Biden, 45 years, has passed two or three pieces of legislation, one of which he's trying to walk back from, which is the criminal reform in '94. Uh, Trump, in less than 4 years, has created a new mandate in this country, a new agenda in this country, America First, brought back jobs, manufacturing jobs, brought money from offshore, uh, and has made America once again uh, an economic powerhouse, uh, has walked back the fueling of making China's economy near par with America, which was uh, started back in the Clinton administration, progressed throughout the following administrations, including Bush's administration, and was put on steroids during Obama Biden, where most of the problems that we face today with supply chain coming from overseas, and most specifically China, were birthed, created, and China's economy, they should have, next to Mao, they should have a photograph of Obama Biden together, because they were instrumental in creating China's economy. Thank God Trump is walking it back. Uh, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, as Attorney General of California in the early 2000s, who kept nonviolent offenders incarcerated when they were eligible for early release. And her reason for doing so was because California needed the cheap or free labor. It's Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, who went on Colbert and told America not to believe anything she says. That's their VP candidate. Colbert asked her, how can you sit on a ticket with Biden, a man that you said was pro-segregation and against and caused the bus issue with busing while you were the little girl on that in that predicament, and all of a sudden you're able to forgive and forget. How can that happen? And her response was, because it was a debate, as she smiled and smirked. In other words, don't believe anything I say. So we knew that already anyway. Um, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, globalization, which we touched on a little earlier. Uh, what? How do you go on stage, Joe Biden, and say that you're going to fix this dependence on China that has gotten us into this mess with our supply chain? You're going to fix it and you're going to turn it back. First, acknowledge that you created it, or were very instrumental in creating it, that you made a huge mistake, and that you want to continue in Trump's footsteps and bring manufacturing and bring production and bring factories and bring jobs back to America, which is what Trump ran on 4 years ago. And you stand in front of America as a bold-faced liar, and your party, bold-faced liars, running on a platform that is completely contradictory to your history. Look it up. That is who Biden, Obama are. Not were, are. Okay? The same Barack Obama who deported over 3 million people during his first administration, and then suddenly, when 2012 came around and re-election, 2011 came around and re-election for 2012 was necessary, he stopped deporting, and he became an advocate for not deporting. What do you think of that? You can't erase that. Those cages that they're saying Trump uses to house children now, those cages were built by Barack Obama, built during his administration to incarcerate some of the 3 million people while they waited to be deported. And then all of a sudden, he has this epiphany. I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that he needed to get reelected. Yeah, probably did. Barack Obama, we've touched enough on that. Today, Donald Trump made an announcement regarding an FDA approval, fast-track approval for an antibody treatment of the COVID-19. Immediately, what you hear is from the liberals, not enough testing. Don't hang your hat on this. We don't know this to be actually factually true. We don't know that this works. This could be dangerous. The FDA approved it, people. The FDA approved it. Move forward. I want to get a little bit to Michelle Obama. First time she was proud in her adult life to be an American was when Barack Obama was nominated, received the Democrat nomination for president in 2008. That's the first time. And then she goes on TV during the convention this year saying how as Americans we need to unite. As Americans we need to be together. We need to be proud. We need to all work together as Americans to get rid of Donald Trump. Are you suddenly now, are you proud again, or are you not proud? Black Lives Matters is BS. And I'll tell you how they are racist against blacks. The only manifestations, the only protests, the only things that you hear when they come out, when they rear their heads, is when black are killed by white, and more specifically, white police officers. The vast majority of blacks murdered in this country are murdered by other blacks. We don't see any manifestations for those. Are those black lives not important to you? Black Lives Matter? Are they not important? They're not important to you because you certainly do not have manifestations about that. You certainly do not have protests about that. That is a fact. Your only protests are when Americans, when African Americans are killed by whites, and specifically white police officers. I think we've endured enough at this point, and I think that these are all points that good conversations to have with your liberal brethren. I want to close with a quote from one of the founding fathers, James Madison, probably the architect, considered the architect of our Constitution. And he says, a democratic republic, which is what we are, requires a special kind of culture, one that nurtures self-reliance and a love of liberty, accountability, self-reliance. The people in this country that are dividing it are the people that live from divisiveness. The ones who need to be sure that racism continues to exist so that they can buy their groceries. And we know who they are. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. We've been getting an uptick here in subscribers, and I think that we're beginning to make some headway. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, share it. Thank you.